So I've consciously been living the law of attraction for most of those 14 years now, and I've been blessed to have many things come into my life. And yet, at the moment, I'm dwelling on something that I do want to bring in, and I'm getting impatient because...
And so dwelling means I'm focused.
Yes.
Impatient means I'm focused in a way that's not productive. Mm-hmm. So stop it. So how can you stop doing that? You can't stop doing that without doing something else. So you just have to modify the story that you're telling. Even the word you used, I'm dwelling. Do you ever say, oh, I'm dwelling on a delicious meal that I'm going to have tonight? Usually when you use the word dwelling, you mean I'm trying to sort out the problems or I'm trying to sort out the solution. Yes?
Yes.
So rather than dwelling on it, what you want to do is begin framing it up in a better feeling way, telling the story in ways that give you more and more relief. Want to talk about it in detail?
Sure. I published a book last year that my wife wrote that I believe will make a huge difference in many, many lives. And it's selling reasonably well, but I just want to get it out much faster than it's happening. And in meditation a couple of weeks ago, the thought Joe Vitale came into my mind, and I dismissed it. The next day, Joe Vitale came in again, so I thought, I'll send him an email. And within 2 hours, I got a response saying, no promises, but send me the book and I'll have a look at it. So part of me is open and wanting it to happen and allowing, but there's still this impatience.
Well, the story that you tell here is a good one, because when you receive an impulse in a state of non-resistance, and then you take action on that impulse, you usually get good results about it. But even having said that, we want to say that we can feel around this a trying too hard. When someone has a book that they feel is of value, and they are eager to get it out there, and they ask us what we think they should do about it, we always say, write another book. Because in the writing of the book, you have to be connected to the stream. And when you're connected to the stream, then you're in a state of non-resistance. So now, in this case, it's a little different because your wife wrote the book, so she was the one who tuned in. So we want you to write a little mini book for yourself, and this is the book where you tell the story of how you got out of the way and allowed the universal forces to come into play to bring you what you want. In other words, we want you to write a story. You can write well, too. We want you to write the story of how you, through interaction with your wife and watching her process of this book and having the benefit of having read the book, how you have put that book, that really well-selling book, into your vibrational reality. And now you're going to write the story of how you carried yourself consistently out of dwelling into feeling good about this book. Now, the best way we know of is to imagine the benefit of someone. In other words, when you think of the value that people will receive from something that you are a part of, it's always the most productive way for you to come into alignment. When you think of how many books you will sell, or who will buy them, or how much money you will receive, very often it gets all messy in the vibration. So we can feel from you, uplifter that you are a teacher to the very core of your being. As you focus singularly on the benefit, we felt it from you so strongly as you spoke it here, as you focus upon the benefit that people will receive, and you read it again and again, feeling your own benefit from it, you'll tune into the vibration of that. And you got to understand, it's already in your vibrational reality. The circumstances and events have already been orchestrated. Don't jump out of the vortex and try to do stuff to make it happen. Just get in there vibrationally and let law of attraction take care of it. Just get in there vibrationally. That's your work. That's a hard thing for you all to hear because you're very action-oriented. Someone said earlier, I believe that I should take action. And the seminar on law of attraction is not about non-action. it's about alignment first and then any inspired action that occurs to you, you see. So your only work is to get in the vortex, and that's the story that we want you to write. How can I get in the vortex? How can I get in the vortex? How can I get in the vortex? And when you're dwelling, you're not in the vortex. When you're worrying, you're not in the vortex. When you are feeling enthusiasm, you're in the vortex. So why will people benefit from this book?
Because it'll help them to understand how they create.
And why is that of interest to you? Why do you want people to be deliberate in their creating?
So that they can create that which they want in their own lives.
And? Think we need more stuff? Think we need more money?
No.
Think we need more statues? You think we need another book? What's the purpose of it? In other words, why would anyone come from pure positive energy into contrast? Why would anybody sift contrast? Why would anyone give birth to more? Do you give birth to more because there needs to be more? Or do you give birth to more because it's the natural consequence of beingness and because it is so exhilarating to come into alignment with what you've given birth to? In other words, what if that book is about creation, then you want to live it first. You want to do what the book teaches first. You see, come into alignment by trusting that you've asked and it's been given. And now the universe has figured out a path. And in your times of feeling good, the path will light up for you. The thing that's sort of stuck in your vibrational craw, and it happens with a lot of you, is that you try to make things happen. There are theories that say if you throw enough mud on the wall, some of it will stick. And we say, if you throw enough mud on the wall, you'll just have a big muddy wall. In other words, what you're really wanting to do is to think the thoughts that feel good when you think them, and reach for the thoughts that feel best from where you stand. And understand that you are vibrational beings much more than action beings. And tend to your gap, 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 until you're consistently inside your vibrational reality. And then more opportunities, more paths will light up, more ways will come to you than you can even from where you stand now even begin to imagine. And not only that, not only will the path come about that, but path to all kinds of other things will flow too. In other words, there's a lot more in your vibrational reality than just the subject of that book. And when you use the subject of that book as your excuse to get in there, everything else lights up too. There you go.